During a trial, the judge will tell the jury, you are not to talk about this case when we take a break. Do you really think the jurors pay attention to that instruction? You want to know the answer? Come join me for a moment as I share with you some great information. Hi, I'm Gerry Oginski. I'm a New York medical malpractice and personal injury trial lawyer practicing law here in the state of New York. In every trial involving medical malpractice or car accident case or wrongful death case, the judge will tell the jury that during the course of breaks, you are not to talk about the case. You're not to talk about the evidence. You're not to talk about the witnesses. You'll have plenty of time to do that at the very end of the case. Do you think that the jurors actually pay attention to that instruction? Or do you think that when everybody takes a break, the jurors are back in the jury deliberation room while they're taking their break and actually talking about what they just heard? The reality is that jurors are not supposed to be talking about the case. You want to know why? It's because they haven't heard all the evidence. It's because they haven't heard all the testimony. It's because they haven't been given the instructions of law by the judge. So now for them to start talking about who's more likely right than wrong, they're missing key pieces of the puzzle. And that's why the judge doesn't want them talking about what they just heard and what they just saw. But do you think that jurors actually pay attention to this? The answer is they do. You want to know why? Because the judge also gives them an instruction that says, ladies and gentlemen, if one of the jurors is not listening to my instructions, you are to immediately tell the court officer, and the court officer will come tell me, and we will deal with it right away. And in addition, when we are selecting a jury, I will often ask the jurors whether or not they can follow the judge's instructions, regardless of whether or not they agree with it or disagree with it. And if there's one or two or more jurors on there who are not following the judge's instructions, will you have any difficulty telling the court officer, who will then notify the court? And they all say yes, they will follow the judge's instructions. And that's exactly what they're required to do. So to go back to the original question, when the judge gives the jury these instructions that they are not to discuss the issues among themselves during the course of breaks in the trial, will they do it? The answer is they're required to follow the judge's instructions. And they've also promised that if one or more jurors disregard the judge's instructions, they are to notify the court officer so that now the judge can take action on this and rectify this problem. So why do I share this great information with you? I share it with you just to give you an insight and an understanding into what goes on during a car accident trial, a medical malpractice trial, or even a wrongful death trial here in the state of New York. You know, in all likelihood, you've got questions or concerns about your own particular matter. Well, if your matter did happen here in New York and you do have legal questions, what I encourage you to do is pick up the phone and call me. I can answer your legal questions. You know, this is something I do every single day, and I'd love to talk to you. You can reach me at 516-487-8207 or by email at Gerry, Gerry, at oginski-law.com. That's it for today's quick video. I'm Gerry Oginski. Have a great day.